admit there are Christians that take it way too far with preaching God. And sure, it's good to show everyone that God is great, like preach out loud and make everyone hear you, but no one's hearing you. The best way to approach, in my humble opinion, is to make friends with someone first, to make a relationship with someone first. Get into a friend, we're on the same team type of energy first before preaching out loud. Because a lot of the times, and I hear from a lot of people that I conversate with, they always have this bad experience with Christian people. Every time they mention something slightly about God or whatever, the guy taps into his fucking reservoir and talks about Christianity, talks about how Moses has saved him, and then like literally starts talking for an hour long about Christ. No one wants to hear that. As much as I hate saying that, you have to, the best way to do this, the most optimal way to actually convert more people to Christians, to preach God's name, is to stop disrespecting God's name. Stop making everyone think of God and his religion and Christianity and all of his followers as this annoying person who literally just preaches in front of your face and like sort of forces you. Stop doing that. Make God have a better reputation by being nice, showing that you're humble and getting respect from everyone, getting into a good friendship with them. And then you can slowly start to drip feed the good stuff about God. And then this will make God's reputation better and glorify his name in a proper way. And so this video is really for the motherfuckers who are sort of on the fence about God and not believing in God. You don't know whether you should believe in God. Maybe your family is religious and you don't know whether you should go with them, or maybe go with the more modern day life of, oh, I'm free, I can have sex whenever I want. Which one should you go for? I believe this video will explain it all. Why you shouldn't believe in God. But this video is going to be mainly the benefits of God. So the first limiting belief is, if God is real, why does he allow suffering? Why does he allow pain? Well, the first thing that comes to my mind here is, there is no light without darkness. Joy without suffering. Just think about it. If you're having joy all of the time, everyone's happy on this earth, then is that really joy at that point? Because you don't know what suffering is. If everyone's born into this earth and everyone's like, ah, ha, 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 all of the time, and there's no suffering, then that's not joy. That's just living. That's just a constant state of human at that point. And so I am a firm believer that God makes you unbreakable, and the things he gives you, maybe like body dysmorphia, or the girl rejected you, or you suffered an injury, or you had some health trauma, some serious disease, and then you recovered later. He gave you those to make you stronger. And there's a quote, I don't have it here, right? So I can't recite it precisely. But essentially it goes something like, I ask for wisdom and God gives me problems to solve. I ask for strength, God gives me challenges to go through. I ask for courage and God gives me fearful things for me to tackle. And so this is literally all about your mindset about God. How do you think about God and his works? Do you take responsibility and think that the suffering that you get every day at life, whether it's someone picking on you at school or the girl rejected you, maybe you can think about this in a slightly different way. Maybe the girl rejected you and God made that happen because she isn't your wife. She isn't your true wife. Or maybe God's trying to give you a sort of trauma in the brain, a slight trauma, and push you towards upgrading yourself. Oh, the girl rejected me, I'm gonna go hit gym now. Maybe God wants you to improve your social skills. Oh, the girl rejected me. Well, now you're gonna go and improve your social skills. Now you're gonna go improve your charisma. Now you're gonna improve your riz. Well, let's take another example like health. Well, let's take health as another example. If he gives you a health trauma about some disease and then you go work as hard as possible to go fix that disease, you fix your diet and everything, you've just gained a valuable life skill of health, knowing what is right and what is wrong. You've probably been going and reading all of the labels behind the ingredients, like whenever you're buying some prepackaged products of like a sauce or some shit, you look at the ingredients at the background and you learn all of that shit, what is good, what is bad, and you perfect your diet. That is just a gift that God has given you. You are now health conscious. You are now healthy for the rest of your life, because you know that if you go back to that shit, you're going to get the disease again. So the second limiting belief is, if God is real, where is he? Again, it would sort of be weird. Let's put this in perspective, right? It would be sort of weird to have a constant, big, old, hairy man in the sky looking down. Not saying that God is an old hairy man, right? God is, you can't describe God as a old hairy man. It's just God. Let's say there was this being in the sky, this constant fucking light in the sky that's just watching your every move, and he's just there every fucking day, and he's just constantly looking at you every single move, and he orchestrates every part of your life. Would that not be a little bit weird? Would you? It doesn't make sense that he's just gonna be there. You're just gonna see him. But just as a more preachery type of explanation for this is, you only see him when you seek him. If you're like an atheist guy and you never really believed in God, you never really needed him, and you never really seeked him, then you won't find him. You won't see him. It's only really when you're at your deepest, darkest times, for example, you're getting your health trauma, you just got diagnosed with a terminal disease, bam, no one's there to save you, you don't have enough money to get surgery or some shit. You now pray to God, because you have nothing to rely on. You don't have the government's not sponsoring you, don't have enough money. At your deepest, darkest, lowest times, you will find God. You will go and seek him, and if he's nice, you'll find him. So the third limiting belief is that it's a tool for mass societal control. It's a confinement of society. It's a way to control everyone. But what do you think is more controlling? The media, government, propaganda, news, or just religion? Now, you can argue that in the olden times that the motherfuckers who couldn't read and the first book of the Bible was published and it's a whole bunch of propaganda back then. Yeah, you can argue that, but nowadays, what do you think is more controlling? What do you think is more societally controlling? The news, the propaganda, the movies, Hollywood. These things put beliefs into people's minds. Just change of a word in the news article. Bro literally looked at the woman, right? And then he harassed or some shit. Like the simple change of a word in the news and maybe some stereotype in movies can cause mass social change. So if you really, really think about it, it's actually God or the government and media. And there is a quote here that is very, very smart quote, and it explains everything in detail, and it's from Dan Coe, so I'll just read it for you because there's no way I'm fucking remembering all of this. The government and culture influence the school system. The school system creates resources for the students to learn from. The students don't question what they are taught at all. The students go on to be parents. The parents teach their children what they know and send them to school without question again. The children make friends and conform further to fit into the group, right? Your tribes and shit. The children grow up, get jobs, become teachers, become parents, and become politicians, and create the knowledge and resources online and offline that influence culture. The parents, students, and children vote. The cycle continues to create the society we live in. So basically, you can think about this as a downward spiral or a negative feedback loop. Some guy at the top ages ago, bam, school system, bam, belief, wham, now it's down here. Look at today's modern day age. Look at what we are doing today. Look at the porn, look at the VR porn, look at the casual sex degeneracy, look at the casual hookups, look at all of this degenerate party culture. Which one do you really think is better? We've covered that Hollywood purports the fucking party life or whatever, the modern day age, literally like James Bond. This is a slightly side topic, right? But literally James Bond and Indiana Jones have been both fucked. They're both like originally masculine brands and they all like purport this role model for young men. And now they're literally, bro, if you look at the latest movies, James Bond is getting shit around by this modern day feminist movement that's like, I don't even know what gender she is. Like, maybe it's a female, this like a masculine female. And also Indiana Jones Dial of the something, the latest one, is literally guided around by this masculine female. Again, nothing wrong with that, right? It reflects the modern day world, but you've just tarnished a whole brand. Just think about this in a different perspective, right? It's like all of the Muslim people trying to influence the LGBTQ people. If that actually happened, right? If the Muslims outrightly did what the LGBTQ people do, so like go into the religious places and like fucking cause a mess, like wave around their rainbow flags. If the Muslims or the religious people go into LGBTQ community and start preaching God, they would, bro, the news articles would be all around, and then, bro, everything would be against the religion. So if you just think about these modern day trends influencing a brand that's supposed to be masculine, like, I'll give you another example. The Little Mermaid. How the Little Mermaid was once a ginger girl, a white ginger girl, and now it's literally a black woman. Bruv, what about the ginger woman? What about the little like ginger girls that look up to the Little Mermaid as a role model? You just killed their role model. Why not just make another movie and make a black woman inspired movie? Just make your own brand. And so if you really think about it, God may actually be a whole lot better than the modern day beliefs. And a point I can add to that is that it is a fact that families stay together and are more happy if they are Christian and religious. Obviously, most of this is down to parenting, right? If you have really strict parents, you have to be Christian, you have to follow every part of the Bible, every single part of the Bible. Obviously, if the parents are like that, really strict from the beginning, and then you're going to raise a child, and then the child's going to end up hating Christianity when he's older, and then when he experiences like the modern day life of going partying and he becomes free, obviously he's gonna feel that he's free, and he's gonna feel that the freeness, the modern day life is the truth, right? But if you have good parents that give you Christianity and God as an option, as a good and humble thing, that introduces you to the religion in a soft way, then you'll actually take the religion more as a wholesome thing that you can relate to your family. I'm feeling really bad in life right now. I'm gonna go pray to God. And so just as a statistic to even elaborate on this point further, couples that pray together stay together. 50% of first marriages end in divorce, and 78% of second marriages end in divorce. Less than 1%. So I think the actual number is like 0.006% of couples who pray together daily end their marriages. See how powerful that shit is. And so generally speaking, you can look up people like Jordan Peterson. If you're a Christian and you have like sort of a religion to follow, you have a happier family. And if you have a happier family and a more functional family, then society is better. And just as a final point, even if hypothetically speaking, God didn't exist, I'm a firm believer of God. Don't take this out of context. If hypothetically God didn't exist and he was just a concept and everyone was just believing, it will actually still be beneficial. Even if God was just a concept, it would be beneficial. This is like example from Tate. I'm pretty sure it was from Tate, and he said that if you were to crash on an island, this is a very brash and vague example, right? It's not really that realistic. If you were to crash on an island and there was tribal people there and they all had this god that they were following, and the god said that, oh, you can't attack foreigners, you can't attack people who crash down on the island, and then they don't attack you, and instead they literally take you in as your own because their god said, oh, treat your be good to your neighbor or some shit, and then they literally take you in. God as a concept has saved you there. God as a concept has saved you from literally getting mauled by a tribal people. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, bro. In a bit.